In today's video, I'm going to show you how to earn 2 million credits at Willow Springs in the latest online time trial in Group 4. And remember, if you do enjoy this video and you find it helpful, feel free to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel for more of these guides in the future. So let's get into this. To enter this time trial, you're going to go into the online time trial section. We don't currently have a guide for the Lake Louise. I don't really like the rally, so haven't even bothered doing a lap time for that. But we're going into the Willow Springs one in Group 4 on racing hard tyres. Now, you can use any Group 4 car. I have got it into the top 10, so you can use my Ghost to chase in the actual time trial session. And I predict the goal is going to get around about a 1 minute 19.1. So you do want to try and beat that time to secure them credits for this week's TT. So let's get into this. Going into turn 1, we are going to be looking for our first braking reference, which is in between the 100 and the 50 board. So we're going to go past the 100 board there, and we're going to be braking just before the 50 board. Now, you want to really get this car to go through this corner as quick as possible on the exit. So you can see right up to the curb on the left, and then aggressively onto the throttle. You can see the trail braking into the corner, and then a little bit of playing with the throttle as we go through there, just as we try and get as much exit speed as possible. Now into this long right hand corner, I take kind of an aggressive line into this, a lot more aggressive than what a lot of other people do, and I think it works out for me quite nicely. So you can see I give a little dab of the brakes. What that does is it puts the weight onto the front of the car and then enables me to be a little bit more aggressive as we coast through, and then we can get onto the throttle a little bit earlier and take a slightly tighter line than the Ghost you can see in front of us, ever so slightly tighter, and we still manage to get that right hand tire right up to the white line on the exit there, and we're able to go flat out on the throttle without running wide on the exit also. Now we're coming into the next braking zone, which we're going to brake just shy of the 50 board. You can see it there, and we're going to really take a wide line into the initial part, and then what you want to do is trail brake into the corner. You can see that trail braking going on. It's really important to trail brake as you go into that corner, because you want to hold the speed and keep the weight on the front of the car. That enables you then to get quite aggressive on the throttle as you go up this hill and then into this next right hand corner. Now from here, you want to take a very narrow line. You do not want to let the car run wide. So again, a tiny little bit of braking input as we go through this corner. That again keeps the car nicely in the middle here without going too far to the left, and then it enables you to get right up to the white line as you put the power down. And again, just be cautious on the exit when you put that throttle in. You might need to play with the throttle ever so slightly just to avoid spinning it. And then again, this corner right over the dust and the sand on the right hand side, but your right hand tire, left hand tire should just about stay on the curb, and then as you're on the curb there with the left hand tire, onto the brake. Now into this corner, you want to try and get the left hand tire right up to the curb on left. I slightly missed the apex there and lose at least half a tenth, I think, as I just couldn't get on the throttle as aggressively as what I would have liked. But if you get that perfect, you can really get aggressive onto that throttle to carry the speed all the way down the straight. So not a bad sector there, but I think there was about a 10th overall loss. Probably a 0.4 is optimal through there. And then into this last corner. This is a tricky one. This is probably the hardest corner on the track to get absolutely right. We're going to lift off the throttle just after the 150 board, so you can see it here. We're at the 150 board, and we want to take a line that's almost in the middle of the track, and you see there we're coming off the throttle onto the brakes way before the 100 board. And what you want to do is stay in 5th gear and try and hug this right hand side as much as possible, but not too close to the white line, because too close will compromise your exit a little bit. But at the apex there, you want your right hand tire to be right up to the curb. You need to be at that point, because there's a little dip in the track, and if you get it right, it'll help accelerate the car down the main straight. Now I possibly lost a little bit of time there. You can see the delta going down to a previous lap that I did. I actually lost about, I don't know, half a tenth on that exit there, but we still go over the line on a 117.277. so definitely a 17.1, maybe a 17.0 possible for me. I predict some people will be getting this into the 16.8s and stuff like that, 16.7s when they really start pushing this car. But yeah, we're gonna have a little look at it from the chase camera again. You can see just how close to the edge of the track we need to get, and you can really see this line that I take through this long right hand corner, trying to keep it as narrow as possible, and then you can see onto that throttle quite aggressively, and the car still just about manages to keep it in the track as we go to the exit there without going near the white line. And then again, just before the 50 board, trail braking to keep that momentum through the corner, and then you really want to get on that throttle early, and then do not run too far wide at this point. It's all about holding that narrow line through the corner, feeding the throttle in so that you don't spin the rear, and then over the curb. Very tricky to get that right. Sometimes it's just going to bounce off the curb, so just be a bit cautious with that one. If you're just going for gold, you might not want to do that way of doing the corner. You might just want to do it the normal way, keep the right hand tire on the track, and just avoid getting the dirty tires as well. But yeah, by the time the tires get to the point of this corner, they should be cleaned up anyway, but you might find it a safer way to do it without that. Now again, this corner, you can see just keeping it away from the white line on the initial part, and then right up to the curb where that dips in. You can actually see the dip. That will help you get the momentum all the way to the finishing line. And we go over with a solid lap. It's not an amazing lap, it's a solid lap. It's a 1 minute 17.2. I'm sure we can get that down to a 17.0, but for now I think that will help you out in terms of getting the 2 million credits. Now feel free to smash that like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all soon for more live streams and more videos. Take care everyone.